All right, Jacob, I've been waiting to talk to you. I'm sort of break it to you. I read an article about you, and you said you had the greatest dog on the planet, Sadie. Will you accept Sadie being tied for the greatest dog with my dog, Wrigley?
I think I can accept that.
Yeah, give us a shot of Sadie. I know that Sadie's right beside you.
She's just taking a little nap after her long sleep.
Yeah, and I know that you're a swimmer, right? So, should I assume your dog paddles your thing? You see the way I tied the two together?
She loves swimming, but she doesn't like staying in water very long. So she'll grip onto me and then scratch me.
And that's how you've gotten to be a stronger swimmer, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, thanks for doing this. You're an ambassador for Unsinkable, which is really cool. How old are you?
I'm 16.
Yeah. I mean, you and I were conversing before, and I'm thinking, wow, when I was 16, I was scared of my shadow. And unfortunately, you've had to live so much. Your dad took his own life, and that kind of left you wanting to do something. What was it that motivated you to say, okay, things need to change?
My dad wasn't receiving the support that he really needed during his depression. He would go to hospitals, doctors, and none of it would really help. He was prescribed medication that wasn't working, and his condition was just getting worse and worse. And I noticed that every time he would go to the hospital, he would get sent home, even if we had proof of him feeling suicidal. And I thought that was ridiculous because we had proof that he wasn't wanting to live, and the hospitals and doctors didn't care about that. And I knew I needed to do something.
So before we talk about what you're going to do, did he use the word suicide around you?
No, he was very quiet about feeling that way. He wouldn't admit it. I wasn't really familiar with that topic as much as like my mom was during that time. And so I wasn't really thinking about that. But yeah, he didn't really bring it up much around me.
And from having read your story, Jacob, he suffered from an illness, right? Tell us about his illness.
So he had clinical depression, and he had severe anxiety.
You know who also had that or has that?
Who?
Take a guess. He's in this conversation.
Well, it's not Phil, so I'm going to guess Michael.
Yeah. Yeah, Phil doesn't get to appear on camera, just so you know. Phil pushes the buttons. If he shows up on camera, hell to pay. Yeah, I've suffered from severe anxiety, severe depression, and while I have never been suicidal, I have understood why people take their own lives. And it's so important for people like you left behind to understand, right, that it's not that he wanted to leave, it's that he was in so much pain. I thought you expressed that really well.
Yeah, you said it perfectly. He didn't want to. I'd say it was the depression that made him. Knowing my dad before he was sick, he was the happiest man and would never even think about doing something like that. And so it was just something totally off.
So how long ago did he die?
It'll be 2 years in September.
So that's 2 years ago. How many years ago did you notice something was different, something was off about him?
It was the summer or the weekend I left before I went to summer camp. He wouldn't get out of bed to say goodbye to me, and I noticed that was not like him, and that's when I knew that something was really off,
Yeah, but I mean, something like depression and anxiety is really hard for anyone to understand who hasn't been through it. Maybe impossible to understand what depression is, like why your dad wouldn't want to get out of bed. You must have been crazy confused because how old were you then?
14.
So you were 14. Am I right that you would have had like no way to really understand it?
Yeah, you're right. I was very confused and shocked.
So you decided that your dad did not get good enough care, and that do you believe that he would be alive if he had gotten better care?
I don't know. I know that people who are suicidal, if they want to end their life, they will. It's not like if we stopped him from doing it that one day, he may have done it the next. Like, there's no way of really stopping someone that's feeling that bad. And I feel like if he would have been admitted into a hospital, there could have been a small chance. But even like the hospitals aren't doing much.
Yeah, I run into this every single day from people in mental health that there's just, if your dad had a heart condition, he would have gotten in to see a cardiologist the next day. So what's the plan? I know you and your mom have put together something that I think is amazing. Tell us about it.
So me and my mom founded the Konan Fund. So it's a nonprofit charity fund that donates money to nonprofit organizations that support mental health. We gather funds from like people that are willing to donate, and then we do our research and donate them out to places that really need the money. And we mainly donate to the places that are like immediate. So if someone needs to see a psychiatrist within a day rather than in a month, or like someone that needs to see a doctor rather than like waiting 2 weeks, they can go the next day. Learning about their mental illness, learning how they can cope, and that's somewhere we put a lot of our money to.
So you said that you were 16. Is it possible you're lying? You just look really young, and you're 35. Because do you think that part of your obvious maturity is based on, or your ability to communicate is based on the fact that you're clearly a really smart kid, but is part of it also the fact that you've been forced to grow up faster than anyone should be?
Yeah, I think that not having my dad in my life after the age of 14 has really forced me to become kind of like the man of the house. My mom is like amazing, and she's like supportive and she can do almost everything, but I also feel like I need to be there to do some of the things my dad isn't able to do now. And so it's really forced me and made me into the person I am today. And I also have to thank my dad for that, because for 14 years of my life, he showed me how to be an amazing person.
Jacob, if somebody's watching and they want to help out, how do they find you guys?
So we have our website, konanfund.org, and there is a page there where you can contact us if there are volunteer positions available. We do post them on our website and on our social media pages.
And how you doing?
Right now, I'm okay. I'm doing okay. There's some ups and downs, but I'm actually doing pretty good right now.
Konan, was that your dad's name?
That was his nickname, actually, like Conan the Barbarian.
Right.
So he was
Right.
known as Conan in high school for being like a really popular big guy. And that was a nickname that followed him all the way until he passed away. And so we knew that it would be something like very like close to home and very like memorable if we used Conan in the charity's name.
Well, really memorable, as are you. And we should do something together, because you have, my goal is to get the word out there, and you are ridiculously good at getting the word out there. So let's keep in touch, man.
Thank you so much, Michael.